Alright, in our first lesson of this Introduction to Mental Ray training, we're going to take a look at the process of actually activating the Mental Ray rendering engine within 3ds Max. Alright, now if you're already familiar with the process of activating Mental Ray, you're welcome to go ahead and skip forward to our next lesson where we'll talk about photon-based global illumination. But this is something that is very important to know because by default, Mental Ray is not set to be the active renderer within 3ds Max. So to activate this, we can do this in a couple of different ways. One is to actually access from this menu up the top, and right now I'm a little bit short on screen space, so we're going to have to scroll over, and it's actually going to be down toward this last end, and this is found underneath the render setup. So if I click on this, what we're seeing right now is the default scanline renderer and the settings that go along with that. The scanline renderer is the default renderer that's built into 3ds Max. Now if we scroll all the way down toward the bottom in this Common tab, all the way down at the bottom you should see a little rollout called Assign Renderer. If we scroll down, you can see right now we're set to use the default scanline renderer. Now if we want to change this, we can click on this dot button, and now we can choose to use either the Mental Ray renderer or the View File renderer. Now the View File renderer will spit out like an external ASCII file that you can go in and edit and then render out how you want. For this training though, we're going to focus on the Mental Ray renderer. So we just double click on that, and now you can see we are now using this as our renderer. And if we want, the next time we start Max, if we save as default, it'll go ahead and load up using this setting that we've just described. Alright, so that is one way of accessing the renderer and actually setting that to Mental Ray. The other is to actually just use one of these presets that are available in this pull-down menu. So you can see we actually have several presets available for us, some that are dealing with the scanline renderer, and some that are dealing with Mental Ray. So a lot of times I find this to be just as easy as anything. Just go down and pick something like Mental Ray No GI. Right? It'll ask you to load up some of these new presets in some of these different categories, load those up, and there you go. So with some of these, we do have the ability to now kind of have some of these settings already set for us. So we can already have things like daylighting set up, things like hidden contour, GI, things like that. But just to keep things simple, we're going to start with Mental Ray No GI. All right, that's kind of a bare bones setting, no indirect illumination, none of those extra features. So we'll start from the ground up. All right, so that is how we can access this Mental Ray renderer, and you can now see that when we go to the render setup, the Mental Ray renderer is being used. All right. So now that we have this set up and ready to go, what we're now ready to do is begin the process of exploring some of these special Mental Ray features. And we're going to start in our next lesson by exploring photon-based global illumination.